Been busy writing over on ESPN.com. Focus on the biggest questions surrounding the new coordinators around the league, which, of course, holds a ton of weight in how all of this is going to start out. We begin in Detroit with new OC Drew Petzing, where Ben asked the question, can he coach around the line? So, Ben, we're going to put you right to work answering your own question. Can Petzing coach around that O-line?
Yeah, you need to read the article, Laura. I shouldn't give you this answer for free, all right? You got to click the link.
I did.
I think he can. It's something he did well with the Cardinals, but it's important to note, we forget easily just how good that Lions offensive line was during the Ben Johnson era, right? Now, they've lost 4 of 5 starters from that group, and the 5th returning starter, Penei Sewell, is flipping from right tackle to left tackle. This is a very questionable group, and you saw that expressed last year in the Lions' explosive run rate. It was 21st in the league. With Jahmyr Gibbs, you should be getting more explosive runs, all right? That should be what your offense is built around. Petzing with the Cardinals was an explosive run author. They were 2nd in the league in his tenure in explosive play rate, and he does it in really creative ways. They didn't have an elite offensive line there, but what they did have were 3 tight end sets. He did 13 personnel before it was cool with Sean McVay. So expect creative rushing attacks in Detroit to solve that offensive line issue.
Yeah. That's all well and good, but I still think we're focusing on the wrong thing with all of this. Like we keep trying to create the situation that the Lions were in such trouble because their offense was a mess, their O-line was a mess. Like it was their defense that ultimately held them back. It was their defense ultimately why they lost, not the offense. But before we jump into it, Detroit Lions fans, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full-length video, as that is without a shadow of a doubt the best way to support the growth of this channel. So, we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, honest conversations about the Detroit Lions. It makes such a huge difference, and would really appreciate it. They don't even I hate that I always just will have to repeat myself. And cause I really try my best not to because football in general, the NFL, there's just going to be so much of repeat. Like it's obviously unavoidable. It just is what it is. But again, and then these stats are just really not cooked. Again, the devil's more in the details, and that's what I want to focus. That's what I want to emphasize for the 1,000th time this off-season. But Jared Goff's 68% completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 7.9 yards per attempt, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Okay. An adjusted completion percentage of 80.2, a passer rating of 105.5. Pressured or sacked percentage 17. Like we keep where T. S where they're so hyper-focused on what this O-line wasn't as good, and that just brought down everything. Like if the O-line was a bit better, would have this team been better and this offense would have been better? Yes. Would have been the difference between them winning and losing and getting to this no. Even if their defense was a little bit better. So it's not a matter of oh, we got to figure out the O-line and how good this O-line was with Ben Johnson. We need more explosive plays. No, it's not about that. It's being able to play chess, and that's where things happen. That's where things went wrong last season. It was more of their inability to play chess. It's why they were able to get through some of the worst teams and some of the lower defenses or just not as great defensive coordinators. And against the defensive coordinators oh my gosh, what the heck is his name? From the Kansas City Chiefs. Spags. Didn't have a coordinator that could play chess in that regard. Couldn't play chess with Vic Fangio and the Philadelphia Eagles. I almost said the New York Giants. And the Philadelphia Eagles. Right? Like it wasn't oh, if we just had a better O-line. Would it having a better O-line help you become a little bit more resilient and give your offensive coordinator a little bit more of margin of error, a little bit more to work with? For sure. But, it's that's the wrong question. That's the wrong case. Tie-in that I feel as though that he's asking. Can he just be more strategic with the game plan and the art of play calling? I'm not looking at the line saying, man, we got to figure out how to get more explosive plays. Again, of course that's helpful. Of course the offense will be better with that. But, I'm looking in this moment of time, it's like I'm looking for the source. I have no problem even just focusing on offense, because it's not like even though I think obviously the defense has been more of the bigger issue. It's not like it's like every single Lions video we're just going to talk about defense cause we're going to all the offense is fine. Like, no, of course not. Right? Like, that's not what I'm saying either. But, if we're going to talk about the offense, and this is like I want to be able to have the complete conversation. And make no mistake about it. Like, sometimes stats, I feel bad, I've been kind of dunking on Dak Prescott a lot recently, and I really honestly don't mean to. But, like, a lot of his stats can be misleading. Like, even last season 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 99.5 passer rating, and it's like those books are continue to be just a little bit cooked as per usual. There's really no cooking of the books with Jared Goff this last season. There's just really not. There's really not. We talk about Jahmyr Gibbs 7th in rushing yards. 13 touched. Owns, which is like second or third or tied for third in rushing touchdowns. And that's coming from someone who got a lot more attempts, right? Jahmyr Gibbs only 243, Karen Williams 259. But, the other main players Bijan Robinson 287, Jonathan Taylor 323, Derrick Henry 307, James Cook 309. Right? So, do you think if he got another 50 attempts or so, that he would have been even higher? Yeah, 'cause it's just basic math, exactly. But where they really kind of ran themselves in trouble was their success rate. Jahmyr Gibbs was like at the near bottom, 46.5%, and you had Kareem Williams, Blake Corum 62.9, 59.3. Now, success rate is definitely going to have many factors at play. Sometimes it's the back itself, sometimes it's when they're running. Right? Are they, 3 down back? Like what's kind of the story here? But that also tries to incorporate that a lot, cause that's why a successful rush gains at least 40% of yards on first down, 60% of yards on second down, 100% on third and fourth, right? So, like it does try to put all of this together, but it can also be a little bit misleading, and you kind of have to be able to also control for the volume of attempts, and are you going in there in a lot of these 3rd and 1 situations? So, it's not a perfect stat, but it is a stat that I like, and sometimes it can be really heavily on the O-line, and all of that. But I do lean more on the notion. Outside of having like a truly elite O-line, where they're getting you those 1 or 2 yards just by getting the push. I look at it through very much through coordinating the timing of the play calling, set, snorts, setting a defense up, the creativity in the run game, right? The types of runs that you're actually seeing, and the type of runs you're actually doing. Like this is why you can see Kareem Williams and Blake Corum both at the top. This isn't because of their elite O-line, even though they had a top O-line. When you see 2 completely different running backs both be top in the NFL, and they're obviously on the same team. It's like, that's Sean McVay. That is a Sean McVay stat right there. No question about it. You see this with Josh Allen up there, it's like, that's Josh Allen. Right? Like, that's about what what you're looking for. And then again, it's an incomplete stat like all stats, so some contributing will be O-line, some will be coaching, some will be the lack of pass game, or having a great pass game, right? Like, it's imperfect, but to me there were so many times that you're watching this. And again, I thought the Eagles game was perfect example of this. You're just like, what's your plan right now? Like, what do you got, what are you actually trying to do? Like, the Eagles defense is presenting multiple problems for you. You're not offering them any solutions. Right now. Like, that's not like, hey, we just got to work around the O-line. Right? Like, again, this is to me, it's like, what play call are you going to dial? Like, we need a first down. We need to get some momentum. We need to get some easy completions. Like, what have you got dialed up right now? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not like, oh, if they and it could have been an explosive play saved you in a game like that against the Eagles, for sure. For sure. That's what I said. Like, it can make you a little bit more resilient. But, it's the same thing with my argument about with the Lions and there and always going for it on fourth downs. Like, this has been one of my pretty strong conclusions about the Lions, where it's just like, they convert the fourth down, they win. If they don't, they lose. And there's too much fragility in that. And it's like, the fourth down conversions have to be icing on the cake. But the reality is like, can it make you more resilient when you're converting a lot of those? For sure. But it's still incomplete. And then that's what puts all of that pressure in those individual moments. There's no like it's like on one side I should actually go back. It doesn't widen the margin of error. It just gives you another play at the lottery. It gives you one more spin on the roulette wheel rather than just chipping away. Right. Like that's actually probably a better way to look at it. It doesn't really widen the margin of error. It just gives you one more chance at a get out of jail free. You get to roll the dice one more time. What do you got? It's like that's actually what the fourth downs or the big plays kind of come down to. Whereas if you can be more consistent, you don't have to rely on that. So I understand how exciting and how explosive the Lions can be and all of that and especially obviously when we saw with peak Ben Johnson, but I personally still think it continues to be the wrong conversation. So that's why I point it out as much as I can. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Detroit Lions and what this offense needs? Like obviously how I feel about defense and all of that, but like what do you think about the offense and where the direction that it needs to go in, and do you look at last season and think like, oh, if we had more explosive plays or something like that was the problem, or if our O-line was better, it's just like it would have completely transformed our season. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, do you agree with me or disagree with me? Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some GHTS. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.